Southampton is hosting Arsenal at the St. Mary's Stadium today, and you'll know that this is what we do here onto the Rokani Media Football. We always bring you what is going to happen as we bring you the confirmed team news, injuries, and so much on as far as this match is concerned in the view. I go by the names of Rokani David, aka RD, onto this channel. Smash the like button, comment, and share. And if at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Now we jet into this big game of the day when Arsenal is win thirsty. Arsenal has gone 2 games consecutively without getting a win. This last happened at the beginning of the season when Arsenal lost to Brentford, then they lost to Chelsea, and then they lost to another team in there. And now Arsenal has really gone another run of 2 games without winning any single game in there. Now, Arteta held a press conference today and really told us what he thinks about this game. And first and foremost, don't expect Alexandre Lacazette. He has really joined another long list of Arsenal players that are injured. Another player who is not expected, Thomas Partey, Kian Tierney, and Tomiyasu, all those, don't expect them to be part of this encounter of Arsenal versus a side which goes by the names of Southampton in their view. A tricky side, and Arsenal are having a very, very, very bad day in there. We don't know whether El Nini is going to be back, because you never know. They might get El Nini to play into the central midfield alongside the man who goes by the names of Rokani. But all in all, I can really cover and tell you now that we might see Granit Xhaka playing off the left back as he used to do, something that I don't really see as something good. I see it as a negative, and a player not trusting one of those players that he really brought into his club, and he is not giving him enough playing time, and he is throwing all the darts on him after being accused falsely in there for you, because all of the goals that are being blamed on this young man, I think Gabriel had a big hand in them, and they now don't want to put the blame on Gabriel, and now they're putting it on Nuno Tavares, because look at the second goal that Crystal Palace scored against Arsenal. Guess who was the cause? Gabriel Magalhaes. Why should you go to a side or into tackle when that player is well marked? Jordan Ayew was so much marked by a player who goes by Gabriel Magalhaes, and when Gabriel Magalhaes came in, he missed the tackle, and guess what happens? Jordan Ayew gets into the mix and scores that goal, and everyone doesn't want to blame Gabriel Magalhaes. Everyone is blaming Nuno Tavares. That's something that I will believe that it's not something good in there. It's like the eye of a cow that is being slaughtered. It really looks at the person who is really taking off the skin and does not look at the person who really took its life. That's what is happening at Arsenal. So, to me, I really believe that there is a false accusation for that young man who goes by Nuno Tavares, and I really believe that Mikel Arteta wants to escape with this, but I really believe he won't escape with this. But smash the like button, comment, and share. This is RD onto this channel in there. Now, let's go to the predicted Arsenal starting 11 in there as they take on a side which goes by the names of Southampton. You know, this is the channel that brings you this on a day. Southampton versus Arsenal, and it's the Premier League 2022-2021. Obviously, in goal, it's Aaron Ramsdale. No one has a doubt about him. And Cedric Soares is expected to start off the right side of the defense, because we really expected Tomiyasu to return, but according to what the manager has told us, it looks like Tomiyasu is not yet ready to play into this game of football against Southampton in there for you. Then there is Ben White. Obviously, he's going to play into that central defense with Gabriel Magalhaes. And guess what? I would have brought in Nuno Tavares, but the manager is going to bring back Granit Xhaka. I'm 100% sure that Granit Xhaka is going to come back and play into this Arsenal lineup in there, because that's what the manager believes, that Granit Xhaka can come in and play that side. But I really believe that games of football are really won and lost in the midfield, and if at all you don't strengthen your midfield, then you are doomed to lose. Getting Granit Xhaka, one of your best midfielders, out of the midfield and playing him off the left back, you are really doing a disservice to yourself, because you're really going to come up and lose. Because your midfield is going to look like this. The dominant midfield of Arsenal, they're really going to play with Nketiah and Martin Odegaard. That is something weak. It's so weak. It is so weak. According to me, it is so weak. You get? However much Odegaard is good and Lokonga is good, but in a game like Southampton, you're really going to face players like Romeo into that midfield. You need what we call a steeled midfield like Granit Xhaka, and he tested the bitterness of his own medicine by getting Granit Xhaka out of that midfield in the game of Crystal Palace, because Caicedo, Mpwetu, is it Mpwetu? I think Mpwetu and Yefis Besuma took over the midfield, and Arsenal lost the midfield battle. And if at all they are willing to go with that midfield they went with while playing Brighton, Arsenal are going to lose this game. Arsenal are losing this game, not in a bad way, but I'm telling you the truth. If they go with Lokonga and Odegaard into that dour midfield pivot against Southampton, Arsenal is going to go ahead and lose this game, because they need to get Granit Xhaka back into that midfield, because that's where he operates best. And if at all you want to lose this game of football, take a risk, get him out of that position and play in another player, then you're really going to face it rough in there. We go to the left attacking midfielder. Martinelli is returning into the starting lineup of Arsenal. You all know that he's one of those best talents, and Bukayo Saka starting off the right attacking side of the midfield. Something that I really believe that, by the way, I'm going to talk about it after this entire lineup displays onto the screen. I really believe that Bukayo Saka has played so much football, and him having played so much football, I really believe that it's high time they really rested him and at least came into play some 30 minutes, because I really believe that he has played so much football that he can no longer benefit Arsenal when he starts. Arsenal would have rested Bukayo Saka like for the match of Southampton, and then you bring him onto the pitch around 60th minute. Let him come in, play some 30 minutes. After playing 30 minutes, then the other game you start him. I really believe that in a game like this, you bring in Nicola Pepe to do something good for you in there, and I really believe that he can come and not disappoint on the day. And by the way, when your best player starts off the bench, he really sees where he's really going to come on and cause trouble, because if you've played football, you know that when you are on the bench, you really utilize, oh, this player is playing like this, there is space like this and this. That's why good substitutes come out and make impacts, because they know that they've been watching the loopholes of the team, and they only come in here to know that, all right, this is what I'm going to do to break down this team. And that's what I can really tell you about Bukayo Saka's substitution. I really believe that Bukayo Saka should be benched, then he comes in and plays some 30 minutes, because in the previous 3 games that Arsenal have been playing, Bukayo Saka has not been of any use. No benefits. Arsenal have benefited from him because he has been playing lots of football. However much they say that he has been playing 1 game in 7 days, trust me, he needs some rest. He needs some rest, because every time you're on the pitch, it's like you're playing. It's like a battle. It's a battlefield, and I really believe that Arsenal should go in and rest this young man and then bring him on. And secondly, he has declined in form. There is dip in form of Bukayo Saka, and how do you get him back to where he's supposed to be? Show him that he's not untouchable at Arsenal. And how do you do that? Put him on the bench, bring in Thomas Partey, bring in Pepe. Nicola Pepe plays close to 50, 60 minutes. Then you bring on Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka now plays knowing that, oh, no one can sit me off this position. And that really makes him comfortable. And whenever a player becomes comfortable in the team, just know you won't get the best out of him, because he'll come out and say, all right, no one is going to get me out of this. And he won't give out 100%. Yet, back in the days when Bukayo Saka knew that he's not a starter at Arsenal, he used to come out and give Arsenal 200%. But in these previous 4 games, Bukayo Saka has been really a very big disgrace to Arsenal in there. He doesn't bring in those crosses. He doesn't score those goals. His shots are off target. I really believe that he needs to be rested and play some 30 minutes into the game of Southampton, because Southampton is not a soft nut to crack, because when you look at their recent game, they are beaten by Chelsea. They were smashed even by Chelsea by 6-0. Trust me, they won't want to come in here and see themselves lose again. When you look at Arsenal, they really have lots of things to protect. Their season that had really given them high hopes might come to an end tomorrow if at all they don't win, because Arsenal is into the 5th position and Tottenham Hotspur, I think they're tied. I think Tottenham Hotspur is 3 points ahead of Arsenal when I look at my Premier League table. When you look at the Premier League table, Arsenal has played 30 games and they're having 54 points. Tottenham have played 1 more game ahead of Arsenal and they are 57 points. So that means if Arsenal go ahead to lose against Southampton, it's really going to make it 6 points in there, and United will be closing them down because United is playing Norwich, an easier side, and if Arsenal does not win, that means things would have gone from bad to worse, because Arsenal had made its 4th position of the Premier League hopes clear. It was 100% clear that Arsenal was the team to be the 4th into the Premier League table, but Arsenal has gone ahead to bottle all its games. They are beaten by Crystal Palace by 3-0. They are beaten by Brighton 2-1, and this game of Southampton is really a hard one, and I really believe that a man who goes by the name of Mikel Arteta needs to go ahead and not play Granit Xhaka into the left side of the defense, because each and every time your midfield is weak, this is what happens to you. They're really going to close you down. When you look at Southampton, they really have a very big and active midfield. When you look at the likes of Ward-Prowse, they are going to come out and school Arsenal. They are going to school Arsenal. I'm telling you this. If Arsenal doesn't really go ahead to do the needful and get the midfield where it's supposed to be, they are going to get skilled, or they're going to get schooled by a team which goes by the name Southampton, because players like Ward-Prowse and Romeo are really going to beat that midfield and chase out Lokonga and Odegaard. You know, we might be thinking it this way, that it's really going to be very hard for Arsenal and Arsenal is going to be suffocated in the midfield, but the game of football is funny. You never know. This time around, Mikel Arteta and his players might lift themselves up to come in and give us a result that we don't expect, but I really believe that a midfield that doesn't have Granit Xhaka, the only steal that Arsenal is left with, it's like going to a garden without a hoe. What are you going to use to dig? It's like going to school without your scholastic materials. What are you going to use to write? I think that's the situation in which Arsenal are into right now, and I really believe that Arsenal should go in and strengthen its midfield in the game of Southampton. That onto your screen is the predicted lineup that we really think Mikel Arteta is going to bring, because every manager doesn't want to admit that he really did a very big mistake. After bringing on Granit Xhaka to play off the left back and they conceded 2-1 against Brighton, I really believe that he is really going to go ahead and do the same thing to bring Granit Xhaka to play off the left side of the midfield in there for you. So tell me your prediction into the comment section below. Who do you think is winning? Is it Arsenal or a side which goes by names of Southampton? Because according to us, we think Arsenal are starting with a man who goes by the names of Aaron Ramsdale in goal. The other man that we think Arsenal is going to start with in the right back is Cedric Soares. We thought Tomiyasu would have returned, but I really believe that they are preparing him for their next game, and I really believe they're going to play Chelsea in the midweek. Cedric Soares right back. Left back, that is a player who goes by the names of Granit Xhaka. Central defense, Ben White and Gabriel Magalhaes to play to that central defense. Then the double midfield pivot, Lokonga and Odegaard in there. Then Martinelli to play off the left attacking side of the midfield. Bukayo Saka to play off the right attacking side of the midfield, as Emile Smith-Rowe is going to play as a central attacking midfielder, as Nketiah will lead the line because Alexandre Lacazette is out also in there and is not available in there. Something that I will believe that it's a point to prove for Eddie Nketiah. In games like this is when you come out and announce yourself that I'm that player that you never used to give enough playing time, yet I'm better than Lacazette. Very many people come out and really criticize criticize Nketiah, and I really ask them, how can a player like Nketiah get himself in the levels you want him when he's always on the bench? There is no good player who comes off the bench. He is getting limited playing time at Arsenal, and you expect him to come up and really get you the goals that you want, because match fitness is always gotten while you're playing these games. You don't get much fitness when you're not playing these games of football in there. So feel free to go into the comment section, tell me what you think about Arsenal versing a side which goes by the name of Southampton. I go by the names of RT. Smash the like button, comment and share. We sign out for now. See you later.